Welcome to Oops, Orgasm Oracle podcast show, where we talk everything pleasure, sex, and intersectionality. I'm Nadia. My pronouns are she, they. I'm queer in every sense, a slut, witch, and priestess. I'm an orgasm empowerment coach that's here to change your life by expanding your view on pleasure and guide you to how orgasm can be for healing and enlightenment. I recognize my privilege in my white body, and intersectionality is integral to my work. You can only heal yourself so far if you're not working to uplift the marginalized collective. Knowing this, I also fuck up, and I'm here for the compassionate, hard conversations. This podcast is to ignite expansion through education, exploration, sharing personal experiences, and radical, often shocking honesty. Many of the topics discussed are intense, and it's normal to feel triggered or have personal trauma surface. I'm always here to reach out to if this is the case, or please seek out a qualified trauma therapist. I hope you enjoy this podcast, and most of all, I hope you learn something that you can take practically into your life or feel more validated in your personal experience. And please, please share, because every woman and vulva-bodied being deserves to have pleasure in their life and reclaim it. Because if you can't fuck yourself, how the hell are you going to fuck somebody else? Let's get to the episode. Hi, I'm Nadia, and welcome to Oops. This is episode 0. I'm just going to talk about who I am, why did I make this podcast, what you can expect listening to this podcast, and telling you to get on it, get to the next one. So who am I? I'm Nadia, and welcome to my podcast, Oops, the Orgasm Oracle podcast show. My pronouns are she, they. I am queer AF. So I'm queer in every way. I'm queer gender. I'm queer with my sexuality. So I'm gender fluid. And sometimes even I have a masculine gender to me. So I'm all about all fluidity between it all and the ebb and flow of life and expanding my human experience, and not fitting into any box. The reason I use the word queer is because it's the least label. It's just kind of the most open and fluid, and I'm a weirdo. I'm queer. I'm a queerdo. So yeah, it just suits me. It has probably since I was about 16. Yeah, and my sexuality is open and fluid and wild and free. Yeah, you'll learn more about that. I'm writing a book called Memoirs of a Traveling Slut, because I'm a slut. And it's really, yeah, my sexuality is a place of exploration and vulnerability, and yeah, that's me. I'm a witch, so I cast a spell on you. No, just kidding. I cast spells mostly just for myself. Witchery is we're all magical beings, and now I just kind of use it in a more focused way. So I'm using witchery through mostly sex magic, and I am just ebbing and flowing as that discovers as well. And yeah, I'm mostly focused on sex magic and energy work and manifestation and enlightenment, healing, and that's what I use my witchery for. So I'm also a priestess. So how I define priestess is that I am one who is leading others through this work, through this, enlightenment, religious experience, if you want to call it that. I'm someone who lives in the realms of like Western science has to be proven to magic, God, and wild magic. So I'm someone who ebbs and flows between it all. And I'm a priestess in this work. Like, I'm a leader, I'm an educator. I work one-on-one with people, but I also lead groups. So that's really what my priestesshood is all about. And I am an orgasm empowerment coach. So I am a certified sex coach. I'm not just someone who's like had a bunch of sex and coming on here and just like talking shit. No, like I have studied this extensively. The certified sex coach program that I went through with Layla Martin. It's called Beta, and that was 2 years. 650 hours for the base. I mean, it wasn't just 650 hours. And I took on 2 majors as well, which is another like at least 200 hours for female and vulva-bodied sexuality, as well as jade egg. So I'm a jade egg, yoni egg practitioner. I'll definitely be talking about jade egg on this podcast. So you'll learn more about that. But, the main things I've studied in is like Taoism as well as Tantra. And a lot of it is personal experience as well. Western science, just like understanding kind of all the realms of sexuality. And orgasm empowerment coach is my own label because orgasm really called me specifically. The power of orgasm for healing and enlightenment in our empowerment. I really believe in the reclamation of our orgasm and pleasure and using that to empower and thrive in our life. I'm also white-bodied, and I was born in Canada, and I work really hard to recognize my privilege in my white body and, where I kind of fit in this world, as well as how can I use my privilege for good and how can I understand other people's experiences. Like I said, sexuality has been a big teacher for me. It's been how I travel the world and meet people in the most vulnerable and intimate ways and really try to understand other people's human experiences and have compassion for it. Sexuality, I've used it in so many ways. I had a refugee lover where we worked in a refugee camp in a literal war zone. And then I've also like sugar babied and been to Spago and so I've kind of I like to reach the full spectrum of human experience through sexuality as much as I can. Like I said, I'm writing a book, Memoirs of a Traveling Slut. So hopefully that will be, that project will finish next year, 2023. And it's my exploratory place. It's my vulnerable place. I'm giving myself in order to receive other people in their vulnerability, and sex has been that for me. And being in a white body, how can I use, my privileged place in order to have compassion and help others reach the platform of intersectionality, and how can we lift up marginalized communities, which I'm a part of some, but how can I decolonize myself? How can I work hard to be inclusive in the spaces that I work in? I'm also not able-bodied. So my journey with disability is very interesting, and it ebbs and flows as disability can do. But I have chronic health problems since I was born, and I've had mostly chronic pain and chronic fatigue. I also was diagnosed with Lyme disease in 2020, and I am not able-bodied. My condition, though, does ebb and flow as these conditions do. And I'm really a part of bringing disability into sexual thriving as well. How can we be inclusive of those who are neurodivergent, of those who have disabilities, who this world is not set up for, right? I'm a huge advocate of everyone deserves pleasure and everyone deserves to thrive sexually. And how can I be more inclusive in my space? And this podcast is a platform for that. So through my chronic pain and fatigue, sex is where I fucking come alive. Like, it has been my greatest healer. It has brought me from my darkest places into expansion in my human experience, using pleasure as a tool to process and feel the deep, uncomfortable things. And I believe the more deep you can go into your shadows and find pleasure there, the more you can reach into wild, cosmic ecstasy. So it's all about that expanding the human experience for me. And my chronic pain was my ignition to find healing for myself and therefore become a healer for others, because I'm not just going to, keep this for myself. I work with a naturopath as well. And the amount I've learned through Lyme disease about the body and about health and the holistic part of health, how, you can treat something with drugs or supplements your whole life, but you're missing your nervous system. You're missing deeper parts of yourself. You're missing pleasure. You're missing how sex can really help heal you. And in the next episode, I'm going to talk about that more. But yeah, that's what brought me to this journey. And I've been drawn to sex from a very young age, sex and sexuality. And, anyone who's known me a long time is like, no wonder you're a sex coach. Like, no wonder. And the reason I'm not a sex therapist and didn't do this earlier is because, institutionalized learning, is patriarchal, is very racist, and these kinds of things. And there's a lot of restriction. And I want to be able to be naked and swear and do whatever the fuck I want. So, okay, I don't do whatever the fuck I want. I am a professional. But my point is I want to be in a space that is expanded as possible. And I'm not just giving you advice. I'm here to help you authentically expand, not tell you like you have to do it this way. And that's why I'm a coach, not a therapist. And that's why I get to pick my own labels. So I have this balance of professionalism, personal experience, and expansion beyond that. I'm always learning, I'm always growing, I'm always expanding, and that is super important to me. And yeah, this podcast displays a lot of that. So why did I make this podcast? I made it because I'm here to change your life. I'm here to change your life by changing your perspective on orgasm and pleasure. I'm guiding you into living your most expanded orgasmic life in your authentic experience. It's not about me. It's about getting you away from this box and these labels, breaking through them. What authentically lands on you? What new things do you want to choose, right? I'm here to help you heal and process your trauma with the tool of pleasure, bring you deeper than your cognitive abilities. What is subconscious? Get you into your body and alleviate those stuck cycles that you're on from the traumatic instances we've had in our lives, maybe even ancestral, right? And use the tool of pleasure to go there. We spend so much time trying to work on ourselves. We do yoga, we go to the gym, we try to eat healthy, get in nature, we even go to talk therapy, but we're missing one huge fucking part of ourselves, and that's our sacred sexuality. Our sexuality is our most primal selves. It's the deepest part of ourself. And working on ourselves as a sexual being can give you the most transformation in your life because it's the most suppressed thing in our society, right? society, patriarchy, religion. It's shaped us to shame and control our most sacred and pleasurable part of ourselves. And how can we live a full, vibrant life with keeping our place of power and vitality so suppressed? So I'm here to help you liberate it, help you live it out loud. And it has completely fucking changed my life, and I know it will change yours. I just know it. If you are open and willing to fucking go there and open your floodgates, your life will completely change, and freakishly fast too, freakishly fast. So I've dedicated my life to coaching women and vulva-bodied beings in this work. I don't work with men. So I'm trans aware and I'm very trans inclusive, and I definitely include women with all genitals and non-binary vulva-bodied beings, but men I just don't coach. It's about gender. It's not necessarily about your genitals, and it's about, you know, connecting with your pussy. I do a lot of pussy work, so connecting with either your metaphysical pussy or your actual genital pussy. Right, I'm just not called to working with men. It's as simple as that. Yes, I will take on extremely limited, I already take on very limited one-on-one clients. There is the rare case I will take on a man for a premium price. But, you know, you have to be able to really be special for that to happen. But I work with women and vulva-bodied beings, and you know, the expanded nature of what is a woman and what is a vulva-bodied being, I'm expanded in. So, you know, always feel free to hit me up if you think like you might be unsure that I might work with you. Then we're here for the vulnerable, candid conversations. So in my typical work, I hold deep one-on-one containers. I typically do 12 sessions at a time. So it's 4 months. It's 3 weeks on, 1 week for integration. And that is deep transformational work where you're going to change your whole life. You really are. And if you're open and willing, that's what it's about. I have an extensive intake process. I take on very few clients. So that is so I can dedicate so much to you and your transformation. And so you're dedicated to it as well. I teach an intro workshop monthly, so please come to that. It's a great way to support me and learn more about orgasm empowerment. And then I host in-person retreats, which is super witchy shit. It's amazing to do this work in person and reconnect with your divine femininity and your pussy, and really learn to do this work in tribal way. It's absolutely incredible to work in person with each other, and it's freakishly normal. Like, you think like, oh, I'm so intimidated to come and do this work in person, but like when you show up and everyone's there for the same thing, it is freakishly normal. Like it's like so anticlimactic, actually. It's so life-changing, but it's like not, it doesn't feel weird because you're returning home. You're returning to your truth, your deepest truth, and our human experience in the deepest way. I truly, truly believe that we all have the right to experience and expand our pleasure beyond the definition of what patriarchy and society has given us. And our sexuality is potent with magical transformation, and I live and breathe my work. My work is my being. This is me. I don't have any masks on. This is just who I am through my healing journey. And what can you expect listening to this podcast? So, listening to this podcast, You will hear from my own personal knowledge, featured experts in the sexuality field, and personal stories and experiences from everyday people. My idea is to learn, expand your pleasure, and feel the relatability that we all have living as a woman and or in a vulva-bodied experience here. And men, you are welcome here. Please listen in. If all this work is transmutable and if you don't relate to it at all, at least you can be a better advocate for women and vulva-bodied beings in this world. And my hope is to ignite your passion for expanding your pleasure and living a more orgasmic experience, an orgasmic life for everyone. And also, the huge piece of this podcast is the intersectionality work, is the anti-racism work, is the trans rights work, is the disability advocate work. It all is intertwined. It's all intertwined. And I will repeat this again and again. You can only come so far in your personal healing until you have to work to help the marginalized community and cumulative and help the everyone around us rise. This is a huge piece in this work, is this intersectionality piece. It all intertwines. Your healing cannot go so far unless you are working externally as well. And when I bring people into full body orgasm, there's always a point they reach where it's not just internal anymore. It is also external, and you're feeling the collective. And it is so important to make progress in that as well. And 5D is not an excuse to fucking be racist and forget that, shit on this world exists and that we are not equal on this world. You are not above this. Your spirituality is never, if your spirituality is at a place where you are above racism or something, you're not in this world anymore. You are just a racist, honestly. And this is the thing, there's no excuse not to be here and work on what is actually going on in this world. You are not above it, and you are a part of it. You are a living organism with this earth and with this society. And if you think you're above it, then you need some serious reality check, which maybe my podcast can give you. So here's hoping, right? So, really it comes down to more orgasms for all, more empowerment in your sexuality, right? You doing this work will help others. And that's the platform of this podcast and what you can expect from it. So I want you to go listen to the next episode. If you like this podcast, please rate and comment and like, and please share with your friends. My goal is to get this knowledge to reach every woman and vulva-bodied being, as we deserve to reclaim what is ours. Pleasure. We deserve to reclaim our pleasure that is stolen from us, that is taken from us. It's ours. It's ours, and it's for our vitality and for us to live and thrive and to uplift the marginalized community as well. So I hope you enjoy, and I'm always here to hear about how you receive this information. And if you want to go deeper, you can always slide into my DMs and hit me up on my website. I offer a free one-on-one embodiment session with for my intake process. If you want to go deeper and dedicate your life to changing it, and you resonate with me as coaching you. And again, I claim that I fuck up, and I am open to being called in a compassionate way to have these difficult conversations in the realm of intersectionality. I want to do better, and I want to be called in. If something made you feel icky in your body because I said something transphobic or racist, like, please call me in. I'm here for it. And I will always name it. And I will name it, as well as, do my best to mend it and shift it and change. As we do this intersectionality work, it keeps shifting and changing, and my intention is always to play into healing and empowerment, but I fuck up. And this world is ebbing and flowing and shifting and changing rapidly. And I try to stay up to date and I work hard to do it, but sometimes I fail. And I just really hope you enjoy this world, being deeper into my world. And I hope you get more fucking orgasms out of this, because that's what I really care about. And see how it all interplays together. So enjoy the next episode, enjoy my world, and so much love to you. If you enjoyed what you heard today, please like and rate. It really helps get this life-changing information into as many ears as possible. And please slide into my DMs or reach out through my website anytime. Thanks for listening. Much love and gratitude. Signing off, Nadia. Mwah.